All right, guys, listen, we got a treat for you today. If you want to find and catch big fish like this out of heavy cover, this is going to be the video to watch. Check it out. Let's see if we can get it done today, but we started off pretty good. I'm going to let these go. Quick bite there. What's up, guys? Daniel Elias Fishing here. Welcome back to the channel, and appreciate you tuning in and subscribing. As always, got the first one flipping today. The Pit Boss strikes again. Decent one. Oh yeah, big one. Whew. Whew. All right. Got another one. Good one too. Man, just in that grass. Let me let him go. I'm drop my talons, and I'm going to tell you what I'm looking for and how I'm finding them. Let me set these talons down. All right, so let me talk a little bit about what I'm doing, what I'm looking for. I'm fishing grass, right? And I'll start by saying that all grass is not equal. There's three different types of grass in this lake. There's the milfoil, which is the bright green, bushy stuff. You've got, I don't know, I call it the crunchy grass, but it's got little spikes on it, and it's crunchy, like you can snap it, like a piece of pasta, uncooked pasta is kind of what it feels like. That's in here, and then you have that long, stringy stuff that kind of looks like Bermuda grass, like that would grow in your yard, but it's really long and stringy. So the fish get in all three of those here at this lake and in most lakes, and it changes, right? And it can change by the day. So when you get a bite, pay attention to what type of grass you caught that fish out of, because chances are the rest of the day that's the grass the other fish will be in. That being said, you know, there's a difference. Sometimes that stuff's really green, sometimes it's dying off, and on all of them. And you want to pay attention to that too. Are you catching it out of the green stuff? Are you catching it out of the dead stuff? The last three bites I've gotten have actually been a mixture of live grass and dead or dying grass, I should say. And it's been where that milfoil's been mixed in with the crunchy grass. So it's like all kind of put together. And that's what I'm finding them in. But you need to read grass almost like you would a point, right? Or rock. Like you'll have this vast mat of grass, and fish aren't going to be in all of it. But if you really pay attention, those mats, you know, they don't run in a straight line. There's points to them, there's cuts, there's holes in the grass, there's high spots, there's low spots. So you got to think of a grass mat just like you would any other type of bottom or bank, and you need to follow those contours and figure out, you know, what they're in, and then you can kind of duplicate that. The last thing I would tell you, and probably the most important, is you need to look for grass that has life in it. And what I mean by that is, as you're fishing along, looking in the grass, you want to see bait fish, bluegill, tilapia, that sort of stuff, because that's what pulls the fish into that grass here. So what I've found is when I'm finding mats that I see bluegill around, they have fish in them. So, and a lot of people don't go on that bluegill pattern as much. I mean, I think as anglers, we're so conditioned to like crawfish and shad, but bass eat a lot of bluegill. And I'm looking for mats with bluegill. So pay attention to what you're catching them in, what type of grass, is it alive, is it dead? You know, is it in a point in the grass or a cut? And lastly, the depth. That's super important because generally speaking, and they will move throughout the day, but they will get in the same general depth, right? If you're catching them in 5 feet, stick to that, you know, 4 to 6 foot range, right? But you don't want to all of a sudden start fishing 2 foot because if you're fishing 2 feet deep, pretty good chance they're not going to be in there. Likewise, if you're out in 10 feet, you know, maybe not as good. So, and then the last thing I would tell you is also look whether it's submergent or emergent grass. Basically, is it on the surface or is it all below the surface? Some of this stuff would probably be at the surface, but the lake's really high right now, so it's all underwater. But pay attention to that stuff. I think it'll really help you. And we're going to go try to catch another one. Lastly here, I'm going to show you what that grass looks like. So this, well, of course, my microphone's going to go in front of it. This is the crunchy stuff. So it has these little spikes on it. It's kind of sharp, but it breaks really easily. You know, it just, you can actually hear it breaking, which is kind of interesting. And then this is going to be the green fuzzy stuff, which is milfoil. So, you know, when I'm finding those grasses mixed, that's the deal. So pay attention to that stuff. All right, so I'm gonna grab my camera so you can see this, but this is what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about look for a mixture of grass. So if you can see that brown stuff is the crunchy grass, right, or the spiky stuff, and then you see the green stuff around it, right? So you've got a mixture of those two grasses down there, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm catching the fish out of. Anytime I can find where it mixes. Got him. All right, guys, I'm going to answer a question that I know I'm going to get asked because David asked it last week, and he asked, why do I flip with both hands? And there's a reason. So I'm right-handed, and when I want pinpoint accuracy, I flip with my right hand because I'm far more accurate. I can drop it on a dime if I do that, right? So flipping with my right hand, super accurate. Now, that being said, you don't want to wait to change the rod over to your hook set in hand until after that bait hits the water, because you're going to miss a lot of strikes. Most fish hit the bait, I would say more than half of them, on that initial fall. And if you wait too long, if I were to throw that out there with my right hand and it's sinking and now I trade hands, I may miss a strike. So generally what you'll see me doing is I start that trade while the bait's in the air. So by the time, generally about the time the bait hits the surface of the water, it's already in my left hand, and I'm gonna feel that initial strike. Now, I flip left-handed when I'm fishing, you know, a big mat of grass, or when I don't need to be as accurate, because you don't have to be accurate in a big mat, right? It doesn't matter if I put it on something the size of a dime or if I put it on the size of, you know, a bucket lid. I don't need to be super accurate. What I am when I flip left-handed is more efficient. So, you know, I can have a bait sink, bring it in, use the momentum, put it out on another spot, right? All left-handed. So don't be afraid to practice. Stand on a milk crate at home, you know, put something in the yard, and just flip with both hands until you get good at it. I am fairly accurate with my left hand, just not pinpoint accuracy like my right hand is. So hope that tip helps you, and let's go catch one. God dang it. Missed that one. Come on. Woo. That one hammered it. That was a pretty good one. So, hit it really hard. And you know what's funny? I took Emily punching one day, was teaching her how to do it, and she's like, how do I know when you get a bite? What does it feel like? And I described it as a little gorilla down there pulling on your line, baby gorilla. And that's about what that one felt like. Felt like a little baby gorilla grabbing it. So, pretty cool. Go try to get another one. Got my bait. My pit boss is gone. Is it still on? I think I lost him. Yeah, lost him. Dang. Had him. Now I got his log. Dang it. Man, that didn't take too long there. Got him. Turning out to be a pretty good day. The only thing with this bite is it does not last long, which is why I came back in order to try to get some again, because it goes away. You know, it's not something that like you can depend on to last for a month or, you know, a couple of months or even sometimes a couple of weeks. I had some last week, was hoping I'd get some this week, and they're still here, but my guess is by next, probably this bite will be over, but we'll keep trying while we're at it. They got all my tails. Alright guys, I'm going to show you the gear I was using today to fish this grass. So number one, man, that Pit Boss. So that is a Berkley Power Bait Pit Boss. Standard size 4-inch. I rigged that on a 4/0 flipping hook. It's a Fusion 19 flipping hook. And I'm going to show you what I do with it real quick. So number one, you get the bobber stop slid up your line there, okay? So that's right there. Slide that bobber stop on. Piece of tungsten. Today I was flipping a 1-ounce tungsten weight. And then you want to get a punch skirt. Now there's not much left of this one because it's been chewed up, but a punch skirt, that's just a green pumpkin. And then a 4/0 Berkley Fusion flipping hook. Now, the key to this is you want to snell it. So if you look, I've got that snelled where the line comes through the eyelet. Now what that does, and I'm going to show you this, is when you hook a fish and you pull, it kicks that hook straight up, right? So again, it's straight. When you push, doesn't matter what position it's in, the hook kicks up, okay, and hooks that fish in the mouth. And you want that when you are fishing that grass, right? It pulls it up, pops them in the top. Now, if you hang a fish down deep in the grass and you can't get them out, don't horse them. Just get them up to the top, pin them, go in there and pull them out. The grass is not very thick, so that never happened to me today. But to pair that up, I use 65-pound X5 Berkeley braid. I like the X5 because it's a rougher braid. The X9 is very smooth. It's got 9 carriers in it. This one has 5, so it's a little rougher. Why you want that is it cuts through vegetation. That smooth line won't cut or saw through like a little rougher line. So you use the X5 in that heavy vegetation so that when you hook them and you pull, that line will cut a hole out of that vegetation, which is a big reason why you weren't seeing fish getting bogged down in there. Now, 8-to-1 Revo STX, the most important thing is having a good punching stick or a rod, okay? It's really, really hard to find a great punch stick. I'm gonna make it easy for you. This is my favorite, my most favorite one I've used ever. It's a 7-foot, 11-inch, extra heavy Fantasista X, okay? That'll take the guesswork out of it for you. So if you're looking for a good punching stick, a 7-11 Fantasista X, it has a ton of backbone and midsection, right? It's like a pool cue. But it has a tip to it, but a pretty parabolic action, which is what you want when you have those fish down in that grass. So I'll link all this stuff at the bottom. If you want to click on it, the best way to buy these, especially the rod, is directly through the Abu Garcia website. I'll link it. If you're going to buy one, use my link. Helps me out, helps the channel out. I would definitely appreciate it. If you got any questions, leave a comment, let me know, and try this setup. Try fishing some grass. I think you're going to love it. That's going to wrap it up for the day. Put about a half day, maybe just a little over. It's about 1 o'clock, but I am done. Had a blast out here. I mean, not catching a ton of fish, but the quality is definitely there. So glad I got to enjoy it for a little while. Thanks for tuning in. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought, and I'll see you on the next one.